Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. We got a woman who is now in jail because she shot and killed a woman because that woman opened the door for her and demanded that she say thank you, at least when she refused to. Check it out.
New details on a woman's murder at a Dallas shopping center that escalated from a courteous gesture to a violent confrontation. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager.
I'm Heather Hayes, Fox 4's Alex Boyer live with the details from arrest records. Alex.
Hey guys, and according to that arrest warrant affidavit, we now know that it was the victim who got mad at the suspect for not saying thank you after she held the door open for the suspect at an area business. Well, that ended up spilling over into another nearby business where the arguing continued, and then once they were outside, that is when that verbal altercation turned deadly.
The shooter was telling them, come outside, like, let's handle it outside, like, you know, let's fight outside. And the mom and the daughter were kind of just like telling her to like go away.
This 27-year-old nurse who asked that we not use her name had just walked out of this PetSmart store located off West Wheatland Road in the southeast Oak Cliff area of Dallas Tuesday afternoon when she noticed two women, one with her 20-year-old daughter, arguing in the parking lot. Moments later, she heard gunshots.
But the mom and daughter tried to like get in their car and like de-escalate the situation, but the lady wasn't having it. So they ended up starting to fight. And then that's when the lady pulled out her gun and shot her.
Dallas police later identified the suspect as 22-year-old Kiona Hampton. She fled the scene in her car, but was arrested hours later with the help of surveillance video that captured her image, car, and license plate. The witness ran to help and put her training to work, performing CPR.
The daughter was next to the mom the whole time. She, it's hard because, like, you know, the screaming of a child for her mother is never easy, and it's never going to leave my head.
The victim, identified as Cecilia Simpson, died at the hospital. All of this started on the other end of the shopping center at Five Below as both the suspect and victim exited the store with something that might seem like a simple gesture of courtesy. According to the arrest warrant affidavit, Simpson got upset at Hampton for not thanking her for holding the door. It spiraled quickly from there. Hampton, who reportedly waived her Miranda rights, confirmed that she engaged in the verbal dispute, entering the PetSmart twice and continuing the argument, throwing a drink bottle at Simpson's car when she was about to leave and engaging in a physical altercation with her, adding that she took out her gun and shot Simpson, stating she was trying to get Simpson away from her. And again, the victim's daughter was a witness to all of it.
I've been trying not to cry, but just like, you know, being in high school, like my mom was such an important person during my lifetime, and she's the reason I became a nurse. My whole family is. Honestly, if I could just hug that daughter, like, I just feel so bad for her, and I just want her to know that I did everything I could. Those other people did everything they could.
And those other people included two other nurses who rotated in CPR. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Hampton remains at the Dallas County Jail and no bond has been set. Back to you.
All right, Alex Boyer, thank you.
Lock her up. Lock her up. Lock that uncivilized mud up. Family, I'm about to save somebody's life. Hear me out. Hear me out. When you encounter people who are overly aggressive with their belligerence, with their anger, with their aggression, the natural thing to do if you're one of those people that's about that life is to meet them where they are. But that could be fatal if you are not fully prepared for all consequences. The best thing that you can do when somebody is tripping, they acting out of character, they're really aggressive, angry, like they want some conflict. A lot of times the best thing to do, fam, is just get out of the way and let the storm pass. Let somebody else kill that fool, or let him kill somebody else or her. You got to understand when you're dealing with mentally ill people. You got to understand, you got to know when you're dealing with people who are tired of living. You got to know when you're dealing with people who are tired of freedom. You got to know. I don't even hang around those type of people. See, a lot of times when people are very aggressive and they're coming at you like they want conflict, they're ready. That is why they're so self-assured. That's why they're so confident, because they're ready, which usually means they have some type of weapon. So when somebody come at you in a very aggressive manner, and if you're not ready, hell, even if you are ready, sometimes, fam, it just ain't worth it. But especially if you're not ready for what they might have on them, for that weapon that they may produce, the best thing you can do is fall back and try to de-escalate the situation. Just fall back. Hint, talking tough and poking the bear is not the answer. Because if somebody got a pistol and they're ready to use it, all it takes is one thing, you say the wrong thing, and then they can just, at that point, decide they're going to take your life. So you got to be a little bit more, well, I won't even say a little bit more, I say a lot more cautious about how you're moving out here in this world, especially when you're dealing with strangers, especially strangers. Hell, you can be dealing with your own family, man, and they'll take you down. So, but especially strangers, you have no idea who you're dealing with. Family, this uncivilized mud. Let me put a pic up. This is her mug shot. This is the one to the left. This is her mug shot. That mug shot tells you, I don't give a damn. That mug shot says it's whatever. That's the one on the left. That's the one who did the killing. So she made the one that got killed, Cecilia, on the right. She made a fundamental mistake when being courteous to people who don't appreciate it. She demanded that the person acknowledge that, hey, I opened the door for you. The least you can say is thank you. Family, there's a lot of people in the world that's like that. They walk around with a sense of entitlement. And when people do nice things for them, they don't acknowledge it. They don't even give a damn. Because in their mind, they didn't ask you to do it, or even if they ask you to do it, so what? You're supposed to do it because it's them. They're entitled. Some of us live with people. Some of us have spouses, have significant others who we do things for, and they consistently take that for granted. they have a sense of entitlement. You would like you do something nice for them, they don't have enough decency to even say thank you, appreciate it, or something. When you say appreciate, you ain't even got to say appreciate. You can cut it short. Appreciate you. You ain't got to say thank you. You can cut thank you short. Thanks. Thanks. That's it. You ain't even got to say appreciate you. Appreciate it. Appreciate. Appreciate. But some people have that mentality. They got that entitlement mentality. I used to open the doors all the time, hold the door all the time for women. It used to be automatic. I would open the door and hold the door. And increasingly, I would notice that women wouldn't say thank you. They just walk through the door, wouldn't even say thank you. And I go, so guess what I did? I stopped opening the door for women that I didn't know. I just stopped opening the door because I didn't want to get shot down. And then I actually started back after a good, I don't know, maybe good 2-year break. I kind of started opening the door again, but I started being a little picky. I was like, I kind of read the woman, kind of see if she seemed like she gonna be the kind that's appreciative of me opening the door, holding the door for her. You see, I started kind of trying to read them because, you know, it's certain women, especially certain colors of women, a certain color of women, oh, they won't, you know, they act like they doing you a favor. So yeah, I just, you know, I used to say good morning or hi all the time. You know, I see somebody, good morning, hi. Some people don't say hi. Some people don't speak. They don't say hi back. They don't say good morning. They don't say nothing. They just act like they didn't hear you. So I stopped saying good morning for a while. And then once I did that for a couple of years, I was like, you know what? Let me just read people a little bit better. And I started back, you know, saying it again, but I would have discretion. Everybody can't get my good morning. I ain't saying good morning to everybody. You're not finna bust my bubble. I'm not saying good morning to everybody. I'm not saying hi to everybody. I'm not opening the door for everybody. No, man, Then you got some people, they actually get offended when you open the door for them, you hold the door for them. They get offended. So, you know, stop opening the door for them. Yeah, man. So, and that was to protect my energy, So Cecilia hadn't gotten to that point in life where she had to realize that when you hold a door open for somebody, or you say hello, or you say good morning, that person is not asking you to do that. And some people have that mentality, like, I ain't asked you to do it. Some people don't want to be bothered. Some people go out into the world every day and they don't want to be bothered with the world. They want to have as little contact as possible. They want to speak to as little people as possible, as few people as possible. They don't want that contact. So you got to be able to respect that. Some people want to go into the store, grab what they need. They don't even want to talk to the cashier or nothing. They just want to put the money on the table, on the counter, grab their stuff, and go. How many times have you walked into a pharmacy like Walgreens or something like that, where they greet you every time you walk through the door? They'll say good evening, good morning, whatever. And you hear people, you see people that don't even acknowledge the clerk saying good morning or good evening, hello. They just walk right in like they didn't even hear. I always make it a point to speak to them when they speak to me when I walk in, because I know a lot of times people are having a hard day. I know a lot of times they get taken for granted. So I show my appreciation. I know that that's part of their job description, that they have to speak, they have to greet the customers. And the trip part about it is that it actually goes a long way when you walk into a restaurant, or you walk into a store, a department store, a corner store, a pharmacy, and they greet you with a hello or good evening or good morning. You know, puts a little, stride in your step. But if you walk in and they don't say anything, now you going in and you got that mentality like you in here on your own. They don't really appreciate you coming in here. They act like they're mad at you. So that goes a long way. So I always show my appreciation by speaking in return. But some people, they don't care nothing about that. And so this chick was an uncivilized mutt that Cecilia could not recognize. And when she said, thank you, see, typically when you open a door, you hold the door open for somebody and they don't say thank you and you just shoot out a thank you, typically they just keep walking. Every now and then somebody will catch their snap and say, oh, yeah, thank you. But every now and then you get those who get offended that you question them. They get offended and they become aggressive. And that's what happened with this chick. She got offended and she became aggressive. And she could afford to be aggressive in her mind because she had that gun on her. And that's the thing about guns. Guns give people a false sense of security. And, it gives them a false sense of authority. When people got a gun on them, even if you can fight, if you got a gun on you, a lot of times you're going to pull that gun before you throw a punch. So that's why really I say before people get a license and learn how to shoot a gun, they should have a psychological evaluation done. Because there's so many people out here running around with guns who need to be on medication or who are on medication already. Yeah, they taking medicine every day and they got a gun. There's police officers out here on the streets right now, coked up and doped up, mentally ill with that gun and that badge and them sirens. You got rapists out there wearing the badge. Yeah. It's a rapist out there right now wearing the badge that's on the hunt right now. Right now, looking to pull somebody over. Right now. Looking to violate somebody. And let's not even talk about the ones who the ones who like to touch on men, the males who like to touch males, who like to search males and touch their privates and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. You think that's not going on? Just like a woman who might give up something to get out of a ticket. You think some of these dudes ain't out here? Are they forcing some of these dudes out here to get on their knees? So back to the thank yous. Everybody ain't built to be courteous. Everybody's not built to be appreciative. And everybody should not have the same treatment, whether you're doing something good for them or whether you're coming at somebody with some negative energy. Although Cecilia held the door open for this chick who killed her, who did not say thank you and then got offended because she was called out. You have to know that everybody is not going to accept you shooting back at them saying, yeah, well, thank you. Like you should have said thank you, so thank you. Everybody ain't gonna rock with that. Everybody's not going to accept that. There will be those uncivilized mutts who will want some contact. Just like everybody is not going to accept you driving down the street and just throwing up the bird and keep on driving. Now, some of these fools out here will hunt you down. They will get behind you and ram your car. They'll pull up on the side of you and point a gun at your head. They'll pull up behind you and shoot at your head and shoot at anybody in the car. We are living in some extremely dangerous times, and we are surrounded by uncivilized mutts, sick puppies who need medication, and others, medication cannot help. They need to be put down. So you can't take your life for granted, fam. Going into the comments. What's up, Judge Dredge? Root Tahada, what's up? Corey, what it do? I decided to live today. Ain't that the perfect handle for this discussion? I decided to live today. That chick was itching for a fight. She following the mother and daughter from one store to the next. She going inside, arguing with them. She's anxious to shoot. She anxious to kill. If the mother was going to engage in a physical confrontation with her, she should have made sure that she got her in a way that she couldn't get to that pistol. That's what she should have done. When the mother got out in the car with her daughter, she could have kept driving, but old girl threw, they say she threw some type of drink or something at her, a bottle at her. And then she stopped the car and got out to fight. And that proved to be a fatal mistake. She should have, this fool is crazy. You have to assume that a person has a weapon on them at all times. Always assume that the person has a weapon. Always assume. And deal with that person accordingly. Deal with them like they got a weapon on them. Because I can guarantee you, if Cecilia would have stopped to think when she threw that bottle, if she would have thought to herself, "Nah, I'm gonna keep on driving, I'm gonna just take off and get out of here, go to police, whatever I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna get the hell up out of here, because if I stop and get out the car, she gonna pull out a gun and shoot me." She wasn't thinking like that. See, Cecilia knew what she was gonna do, but she didn't know what the uncivilized mutt was gonna do. See, that's where a lot of mistakes happen. You know what you're gonna do, but you don't know what the next person is gonna do. And you also don't know what law enforcement is going to do. You don't know what the courts are going to do. You don't know what the judge is going to do. You have no idea. That's not up to you. If more of us moved like the person that's getting in our face, the person that's being aggressive, talking tough, acting tough, if most of us assumed that that person had a weapon on them, even if we engaged in conflict with them, we would engage in a way where they could never get to that weapon. See, I grew up in a neighborhood where it was common for people to have weapons on them. It was common for somebody to pull out a gun. That was common. So I learned early on, scope the scene. You know, check out the cats he with. Is he with somebody? Check him out. Okay, let's say he's not with somebody. Check his waistband. You know, like peep the waistband. You know, uh, you know, take a look at him and see what he got on. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if he, if he's close to somewhere he can have a weapon hidden or something. You know, peep that out. And that's another reason why when if ever engaged, I throw one hit of quitters. I ain't got time to be scuffling and keep on going over and over and wrestling in the mud and getting scratched out. One hit a quitter. You know, if that don't work, you know, a couple more punches and some stomping, you know, that usually get the job done, you know, a few more punches, you know what I'm saying? But I don't be a whole lot of, you know, because you got to get them on out of that, fam. You don't know how many more left. Yeah, got to get them on out of there. When you fighting one person, you have to assume you're fighting at least three. So that's why you throw the hardest thing you got at that one person and neutralize them as quick as possible, just in case somebody else is feeling froggy and leap. Chad Step, what's up? Straight up, what's that say? Joe Blast, say Righteous Cup. Absolutely, man. That's my dude right there. That is my homie. If Malcolm was alive, we would absolutely be kicking it right now. If Malcolm X was alive, I would absolutely be kicking. That would absolutely be my homeboy, for sure. Soldier, man, soldier. Shaquille Oatmeal says, I'm not going to lie, it does piss you off when people don't thank you, but I have never wanted to fight somebody over something like that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I share that sentiment. Absolutely. It does piss me off, but I've never wanted to fight somebody over it. If anything, it make me feel stupid for opening the door for this ungrateful bastard. You know, like that's what I be thinking. Like, man. So it's like you only have yourself to blame for doing it for this ungrateful. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to understand, fam. Like, not everybody have proper home training. You know, it's a lot of people out there that don't have proper home training, and it's absolutely their fault. You know, we live in that type of society now where it's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's not. No, it's absolutely their fault because they know right from wrong. And they chose wrong. So my message to y'all, fam, is I would say don't stop being who you are, but do not underestimate who other people are. Know that not everybody is going to be polite. Not everybody is going to be appreciative. And then it depends on what part of the country you go to. People are more polite in certain places than others. For example, everybody know New York is not a place of pleasantries. You know, it's not a place of politeness. Everybody know that. Everybody know. It's like they take being rude as a badge of honor in New York. You'd have to get to know somebody for them to be cool. You know what I'm saying? For you to be cool with them. But if you're just on the streets of New York, dipping in and out of the airport or something like that, yeah, you're not gonna have a lot of friendly encounters. Now, on the other hand, you come to Texas, and people are generally polite, especially in Houston. Generally, people are polite. But you do have those uncivilized mutts, you know, like the uncivilized mutt that was in Dallas who killed Cecilia Simpson. Sad, sad, sad. And she killed her in front of her daughter, too. Yeah, that's cold-blooded, fam. But hey, you know, you got to have more discernment. You got to be aware of your surroundings. Before you engage in conflict, always think, what is the worst thing that could happen? And if you prepare for the worst thing, oftentimes it'll never get that far. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.